Okay, I've been watching Caleb Hammer and Dave Ramsey on YouTube, and they're messing me up. They're messing up my grand plans. They're trying to talk sense into me. I don't like it. So, where do we start here? So, if you watch those two channels, then you know they focus on financial stuff. Like, don't go spend too much money. Pay attention to where you buy things at. The tax rate in certain areas are ridiculous. And so I looked into it and I thought, if Fiberine Company, the company that I'm looking at to getting a high top, if they were not in California, do you know I would save 40% off the total cost just because they're in California? They have this crazy, I don't know what the deal is with the tax rate there. But if they were in Texas or Arizona or Utah, anywhere within the same driving distance, it would be so much cheaper. I would save about 40% of the cost that I'm looking at paying for this high top. And I talked to him again on Friday, and I'll talk to him again tomorrow, which is Tuesday, trying to get it narrowed down to an exact cost. And it's kind of being weird. You know, I want the reinforced top with the plywood in it. And now it turns out, well, it might not be plywood, it might be OSB. And there is a big difference. You know, I'm not a stickler on OSB or plywood. It depends on what application you're using. But if you're using it for reinforcement, I would rather have the plywood over the OSB wood, because OSB is just chipboard glued together. You know, it's not. Plywood has the grain of the wood running in one direction on one ply, and then the opposite direction or perpendicular on the other ply. And plywood is great. So it's coming down to little things like that, and it's coming down to the tax rate, driving over to LA to get it done. It's just little things that add up. And I make no apologies. I am frugal. I mean, how do you think I've made this work for over 3 years? Living in this van, going anywhere I wanted to, anytime I wanted to. Don't have to report to a job every day. How do you think I've made this work? It's been because I've been very frugal with my money. And I've just been doing some thinking about what's the whole purpose of being out here doing this? Is to be free. And I would rather have freedom over anything else. I've already got everything. I go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, but I don't just go and buy things, everything that I want, anytime I want it. This whole idea of getting a high top, it all started when I pulled my back out. And I think I panicked and I went into some kind of mindset of, oh God, I'm old and I'm dying. And that might be true, but I'm not that old and I'm not that dead yet. I had no intentions of ever getting a high top while I had this van. See, I thought, well, I'll have like 300,000 miles on this van and it'll be ready to trade in or sell anyway. And then I would look into getting something that I could stand up in, because then I thought that'll be several years down the road, and then I'll be ready for a high top and I would be old enough where I would actually need it to get around and function properly. So that was my plan. And that plan was plan A. And then when I hurt my back, I kind of jumped the gun on things and started getting a little frantic. I just don't know. It really just turns out to what kind of deal I can get on the high top, if I want to go through with it or not. You know, I'd even gotten so crazy that I was even thinking about travel trailers. And that would be a good option for the future, but the distant future. Right now, it's just not necessary. It's just it's a confusing time, and I'm not sure what to do. it all comes down to the finances of it all. But I just like the way life is. I like being able to just go and do and see. And for me, it's the experience of it all over the material items, because I just love freedom that much. And I understand freedom's not for everybody. If it was, everybody would be free. But I think about it this way. It comes down to a point of, there comes a time where you will trade a little freedom for a little comfort and luxury. Everybody does it. Think about it. It's just the way life is. But right now, I would opt for the freedom. I'm so all over the place in this video, but I guess the next month or two will tell the story, because you never know what kind of deal you'll run across when you're down in the desert. There may be some guy with some amazing cargo trailer that's built out and I just can't pass it up, and I might end up doing that. I just thought of something else here while we're talking. Sometimes I like to think out loud, so let's go ahead with it. What would happen if I ended up getting a travel trailer or something like that? Think about my YouTube channel. I mean, what's more adventurous and interesting? A guy out here just living in a van, or a guy living in a travel trailer? I didn't even think about that till just now. So that's something to consider too. Because in the van, I can just turn the key and go and go and go and go anywhere I want, anytime I want. With a travel trailer, man, I'd be living in luxury. But I would have to stay put more often. And I didn't even really think about, would that even be worth watching on YouTube? I don't know. Maybe it'd be better. It depends on who you are and what you're into. So many things to decide on. But you know what? I'm having a good time just thinking about it and anticipating what's about to happen. So I'm way behind on the comments, but I am catching up and reading them. You've been so good and so engaging on the last couple of videos, and I really do appreciate your thoughts and what direction you would like to see. If I end up with a cargo trailer or something like that, would you even find that interesting? Part of me thinks that it might even be better than just roaming around in a van all the time, because then we'd get to do the whole ordeal of how you build it out, where do you put your cabinets, how do you carry your water, and all that stuff that goes with that type of lifestyle. But I'd like to know what you think about it. I mean, it would be new and exciting and interesting. However, it would slow down my travels. I would have to stay put much longer in places than I do currently. So we'll leave it at that. And again, let me know your thoughts. I'm catching up on the comments. And thanks for watching. Take care, be well, and smash the bell.